Here we go now.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go. Okay, enough of that. Guys, welcome back to the Kempire channel. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all the things. We are celebrating over 553,000 new subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we're celebrating all of our new Twitch members. Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to those of you watching on Facebook, The Kempire and Kempire Daily on Facebook. And of course, our friends and fam watching on X, aka Twitter. When are we going to get back to calling it Twitter? I mean, I've always been calling it Twitter, but officially. Shout out to everyone watching from around the country and around the world. Lexi says, we see you on Twitch. What's going on, Patricia? What's going on, Vicky? Who's watching on Twitch? Elliot's watching from Orlando. Orlando's probably like my favorite city in Florida. I like Orlando. Let me see. And I like Miami, but I prefer Orlando. Orlando's a little bit more like low-key, regular, everyday. Not regular, but you know what, regular. Bonjour, baby daddy. Okay, Mr. Melanin Magic speaking French to me. Okay, Shanika, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Early morning over there on the West Coast. We appreciate you guys being here for our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know how you would rate it by voting in the live chat poll. If you're watching on Twitch or Facebook or X, let us know how you would rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Honestly, it was a good episode. Salt Lake City's having a good season. I get why Bravo is investing in this show. Sidebar, did you guys notice that they stopped putting the Watch What Happens Live episodes back to back on Peacock? After you, like literally within the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City rundown, they stopped doing it after episode 9. Well, their episode 9, because it was episode 5 for us. So they stopped doing it. We won. Andy Cohen lost. I'm so glad they stopped doing it. It was annoying. Next, please stop forcing us to watch On Brand. I have no interest in that new show. It almost went right. And literally, I canceled it. And then all of a sudden, I'm watching it. I'm like, no, I'm not watching that stupidness. Sorry. Anyway, it's like its own version of an Apprentice, I think, right? That's what that is? Okay, whatever. Before we get to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I did want to talk about Wife Swap. So Wife Swap, as you know, premiered last night. It was supposed to premiere the previous week. The first episode was supposed to be Wendy Acefo. They've pushed Wendy Acefo's episode to November 9th, right after the Real Housewives of Potomac. We've speculated whether or not they were going to show it. Did Bravo feel like, well, after the arrest probably wasn't the right time, but after Real Housewives of Potomac might be the perfect time slot for that to be a probably their highest rated one, right? So here's the thing. Wife Swap, I watched Wife Swap when it was originally on, but I didn't watch it chapter and verse. I wasn't like a religious watcher of the show, but I knew the premise of the show. And watching Angie do it, I said, Angie was, first of all, the perfect first episode. I don't know about anyone else, I think Angie was the perfect first episode, and maybe that's what they were thinking after how everything played out. Maybe that was part of their reasoning. I don't know. But I thought she was perfect for the show because I felt like if they had chosen Lisa, Lisa wouldn't have really been affected by switching lives. I think Lisa would have been like crying for us, like, oh my God, I can't believe people live like this. But I feel like Angie really has heart. And I don't know about you guys, my heart fluttered when, not my heart fluttered, it did though. I got excited when I saw that Mary Cosby makes an appearance in the first episode. I did not see that coming, but this is just a reminder that Mary Cosby and Angie's friendship is a real friendship. I know people probably feel like, oh no, this is an alliance. Mary doesn't like anybody. If you watch this week's episode, Mary really likes Angie, but I already told you I like Angie too, based on what we've seen. I feel like Angie's actually a good, decent person. Wife swap just confirmed that for me. Yes, she likes her things. But I think a lot of us are very much like Angie, and we don't live off the grid. Remember when we recapped, for those that have been here a long time, and we had Tuesday Takeover? Remember when we used to recap Off the Grid, that TLC show? It wasn't a TLC show. It was like a TLC-esque show, but it was on Discovery, I believe it was. Maybe it was also on TLC. But we used to talk about that show, Life Off the Grid. So that's what this other family reminded me of. But the other family was funny. You know, the whole reason why they even went off the grid was because of the wife's rheumatoid arthritis. And she said, literally, that fixed everything for her. I couldn't do it, but here's the thing. If the world ends, those people are going to survive, and we're going to struggle. I think about that, because you remember during the pandemic, people like started growing their own food and things like that. And they were like, we better start getting used to it, because this might be what happens next. So those folks are going to be fine. Sidebar. I saw that Angie hosted a watch party with her wife swap family. Aww. Look. Aww. I thought that was so sweet. And guess who also came over? Heather and Mary. Right? Oh, Lauren, right? Lauren says that husband loved Angie. He really did. I did not expect him to get emotional at the end. But you know what? For a man to do what he did for his wife, to leave the riches of the world and the modern world and to do this and start a whole new life, it already tells you that he's not your typical man, okay? Which I can appreciate. He got emotional when she left too. But I also think Angie is a really sweet person. You know, I think beyond all the brands and the glasses, the hair and the makeup, when you get to know Angie, hence why that hard shell of a woman, Mary Cosby, she broke open that hard shell and let Angie in. Because I think Angie has that thing about her. Angie is a Scorpio, right? Because I know Scorpio has like the stinger to them, but they're a water sign. So they're very like loving, emotional people if you get to know them. Wow. Look, I thought it was a good episode. I think Angie was a perfect first episode. As you know, I was on a Humble Brag podcast, and Crystal Kung Minkoff revealed that she was asked to do the show, but she decided ultimately not to do the show because her family didn't want to do the show. Here's the thing. I think Crystal would have been perfect to do the show. I think she would have been ideal. But if I'm going to be on brand, like the show that they're trying to force on us with Bose and Jimmy Fallon, no. From a marketing business perspective, in this new era, because Crystal, if you watch or listen to her podcast, Crystal is trying to show you guys the real her. The her that we saw on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was an aspect of who she was, but not really her. And I think if you listen or watch her podcast, you get to really know Crystal. So for me, yes, it would have been nice, and I think she would have been perfect. She would have been the heart of Wife Swap, very much like Angie. However, in this new era of Crystal's life, I feel like, no, we want to see the real Crystal, and I want to see Crystal on a competition show. I want to see Crystal on Traders. Okay? I want to see Crystal's on like a Celebrity Big Brother. Oh, that would be good, but I don't think she would want to leave her family for like a month. It's even longer than a month, right? It's shorter than the regular Big Brother, but Celebrity Big Brother is I think it's like a month or so. Mm. But anyway, so I thought Wife Swap, the first episode, which premiered last night, you can now watch it on Peacock. They're not paying me, but run me a discount code for our community, especially because y'all running those prices up. Sidebar, did you guys hear that Peacock and Apple TV are going to do like a whole package thing now? I'm not going to do it because I already have a package thing with Apple for something else. But Peacock and Apple are going to be doing like this big package thing, which is huge, especially if you're a Peacock fan. But sidebar, someone came in the other day and said that if you have Infinity or something like, or Xfinity, you can get Peacock pretty much for a discount. Oh no, if you do Instacart, if you go to your Instacart account, you can get Peacock for a discount or free or something like that. Go check, and then report back. So I thought Wife Swap was really, really, really cute to see. It was nice to see Mary Cosby make that surprise appearance as well as Angie's husband was trying to gut a fish. Because you know when you watch Wife Swap, you swap lives, and like the first day you're doing life as the other family, and then the next day you're doing life as the person that's visiting. So she Angie goes in and she lives the life that they're living. I'm like, oof, I can't even do it. And I know Angie comes from a very privileged, beautiful home. I understand why she wants $4 million for that home. That home is gorgeous. I think we also got to see another side of Angie as a housewife. On the show, we only get to see like a smidgen of her life as a housewife. In Wife Swap, we get to see like, no, she is cleaning the house. She's doing this. She's taking Electra to do this. She da-da-da-da. Electra is getting grown and she's speaking a lot. And she's at that age. And so I feel for you. Oh, Shady says Xfinity as well. So this discounts for you guys. I don't have Xfinity and I don't have Instacart. But there are discounts for you guys. There are all kinds of discounts. Verizon does have a discount for Peacock as well, but it's not great. It's the one with ads. I'm not trying to do no ads. So thank you guys so much for the super chats. Y'all gonna pay for my Peacock. Miata, thank you so much for the super chat. Miata said Garcelle's on Breakfast Club today. I did not watch it yet, but I did see. You know, Garcelle's in New York doing promo for her Lifetime movie, and she's also going to be on Watch What Happens Live on Thursday. Hey Theo. Theo says that Tanner man did not want Angie to leave. He even said "I love you" to her, and his son dragged him. I think Angie's a very lovable person. I think we're watching an edited show, so we don't really get to see a full aspect of these women, especially on Real Housewives, because there's so many women to show different parts of themselves. But on a show like this, you get to see people that don't really know Angie get to know her. And I've been telling you, I feel like there's something about Angie that feels very authentic. I know there's some of those antics that she has can feel forced and pre-produced. I agree. But when you really get to see Angie, it's like this conversation we see this week with Mary Cosby. There's a reason why Mary Cosby, who I didn't think that she would ever like anyone on this cast, but I'm not surprised that she fell in love with Angie. I'm not surprised. Patrick Mom says Angie and Mary are my faves. And their scenes are some of the most authentic, funny, and just grabs at your heartstrings. We'll talk about that in a second. But I just wanted to briefly talk about Wife Swap. It premiered last night. I'm actually looking forward. Next week. I'm looking forward to Melissa Gorga and Melissa Gorga's Wife Swap, because I'm looking forward to the black woman living with Joe Gorga. Because us black people say all the time how Italians and black people have a lot more in common than we realize, especially coming from New York. I am so looking forward to Joe Gorga and this black lady coming to shake up his life. I'm looking forward to it. So Melissa Gorga is actually who Crystal Kung Minkoff they ended up using to replace Crystal, because Crystal decided not to do it. So that's who they brought in, was Melissa, which I think was actually really a really good idea, because I also think that Melissa is going to come in, and I feel like all three of the women that they chose are down to earth enough that it's going to be a traumatic thing for them coming from their lives to other people's lives. But at the same time, I feel like they can actually benefit and they would be open to benefiting from switching lives. You get what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from? I feel like they would be more open to it. So I'm looking forward to Melissa next week. But again, I'm looking more forward to Joe Gorga. Hence why I believe he is part of the reason why Melissa has secured her spot for so long on Real Housewives New Jersey, and why I believe they would bring back Melissa Gorga, because Joe is such an integral part to the men of New Jersey. It's all about Joe Gorga, but it's that Leo energy. He's a Leo. He's the Leo energy. Jennifer's Joe is a cut up and a good time. I am so looking forward to next week's episode. And I was sort of like, I don't know about wife swap. I'm over the oversaturation of Real Housewives, but I was here for it this week. I was here for it. Dis says, thank you, Kempire. I wasn't aware wife swap had started yet. Just added it to my library. Thank you, Dis. Let that, Bravo, you see that? Peacock, you see it? Just saying. Give us a discount code. Give us something. Jennifer says that Joe is great TV. I mean, I'm not going to say he doesn't annoy me sometimes. Let's be honest. Oh my God, I completely forgot Emily Simpson was on. Damn. Thanks, Theo, for reminding us. I forgot there is a week where Emily Simpson is from Ohio, so I feel like she'd be okay with going somewhere rural. So, well, we'll see. But I also feel like Emily would be open too. So I think they chose a good women to do the show. I completely forgot about Emily's week. I will watch it though. I will definitely watch it. And maybe on Wednesdays is when we'll talk about wife swap. Except we'll talk about Wendy's, because Wendy's episode will air on a Sunday, right after Real Housewives of Potomac. Because remember, they pushed back her episode. Originally, we thought they were going to scrap it, but they probably wanted to legally overview that episode, just to make sure that nothing of the sort. Because you remember, I feel like we got to see more of Angie's home in wife swap than we do on Real Housewives of Potomac. You know what I mean? Theo says, I am the resident Debbie Downer. No, you're not. Thank you so much, Dis. This has kept you always bring the news accurately and succinctly. I like that word, succinctly. Foxy says, I like Joe much better than Red Lobster and the dense one. I'm mad that I understood this comment completely from beginning to end. But okay. All right, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Let's just mark the time, mods, or someone to email me the time. Shout out to Lydia. Lydia, I tried to email you back, but it came back a mailer demon. Lydia sent me a PDF. Lydia, are you a Virgo? Or have a Virgo moon or Virgo rising? Lydia, because I asked y'all to send me the taglines that you guys had for me. Lydia put all of the taglines in a PDF file and emailed it to me. Lydia, you are amazing. Thank you. Everyone, a round of applause for Lydia. Right? Elliot says, shout out to Lydia. Thank you, Lydia. It was so greatly appreciated, because I was like, I'm going to have to go back to the episode. No one sent it to me. I'm going to have to go back to the episode and write these all down, but y'all know I'm busy. I got so much going on. She sent a PDF. She sent a PDF, and she also sent it in another file. Shout out to Lydia. Right? Applause for Lydia. Lydia, I'm sure you'll see this. I try to email you back to say thank you, so I'm just going to say thank you. I was going to say thank you publicly regardless, so thank you so much for sending the PDF. I appreciate you. But we also appreciate our mods. Our mods always are holding us down, but I appreciate our community doing that for me. I appreciate it. Okay, because y'all see I have to do timestamps and stuff like that myself. Pageant Mom says, Kempire, did you see the DM of Britney singing? I don't think so. I get a lot of DMs, y'all. Apologies. I have to kind of go back and go through them. Yeah. So let's get to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Guys, if you had to rate this week's episode from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I thought this was a good episode, y'all. I'm going to give it a 9. What exactly happened with Heather and Lisa? Because, at the top of the season, we were like, Heather is up Lisa's, you know what? She can't see past go. And I always remind you that we're watching an edited show. And there are fights. There are lots of context that sometimes are edited out. And we're like, what happened here? And I'm not saying that necessarily happened with Heather and Lisa. Heather could be looking at the whole Lisa situation and be like, you know what? I kind of see I can kind of see Angie's side of this. And it seems like Angie and Heather have really become close again. As I said to you before, pay attention. The wife swap watch party that Angie hosted at her home, she had the entire family come over. She had Mary Cosby come over, and she had Heather come over. Mary Cosby and Heather are also bonding too. I'm liking the energy of Salt Lake City. And I think Salt Lake City, what they're mastering, besides the editing, is the fact that they can move forward with each other and still film with each other, and they're not alienating or ganging up on one person, even though it's going to feel that way with Lisa. But I think Lisa puts herself in that bubble herself. Did you guys watch What Happens Live last night? I watched it like in and out. I didn't watch the entire thing. But Meredith and Lisa have an alliance because there's no way after she did this.
Go.
Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
Here's the thing. I have to say, when I listen to it more and more, there's like little names that she calls her that makes me go, huh, wait, she called her a garbage whore. Wait, no. Can we listen to it one more time? She called her all the different names. I mean, whore was the most prevalent one.
Go.
Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
She's effed half of New York. Damn. Distinguished guest, you're right. I'm not saying that they're perfect, and I'm not saying that they haven't ever done it. Distinguished guest says, did we forget they ganged up on Monica? They did, and we called them out for that, especially the HR trigger words that they were putting out there that they can't film with her, they didn't feel safe with her, blah, 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 blah. Yes. But I feel like after that, we're seeing a level of unity with this cast that we're not seeing on other casts. Sidebar, in regards to cast and cast trip. I'm excited for their cast trip. Mind you, this is not their big international trip that's happening next week. The budget is budgeting over there. This is not even their big cast trip yet. This is their first trip. But sidebar, did you guys see Real Housewives of Atlanta? According to our friends, RHOA Talk on X, they've gone off to Scotland, which for me, Real Housewives of Atlanta, they've gone off to Scotland, which to me is perfect, especially with the viral trend. And I wonder if they talked about this during the season in regards to the Black Scottish people that, TikTok discovered. And now we're going to have a bunch of Black people going to Scotland. I love it. I wonder if they're going to stay in a castle. That's going to be interesting. So apparently this huge cast, I didn't realize how many people are on this cast this season. This huge cast is heading on over to Scotland. Sidebar, I still don't see any Sheree or Kim Zolciak. I believe that rumor started from Facebook and you guys ran with it. That's why I said stop paying attention to Facebook. Because shout out to Facebook, our friends that are watching on Facebook. But I was like, I haven't heard any solid information in regards to that. We have not seen them film. This cast already is big enough. The budget is already worn out enough, especially with K. Michelle. Not sure if K. Michelle made it on the cast show because you saw we did a report the other day. Like, did she quit? Look, did she quit? I don't think so. I think K. Michelle did not. I think K. Michelle was being a Pisces. She was in her feelings, and that's why. Okay. Q Potato, who's watching on Twitch, says Lisa was reading Meredith down. She was. Sophia says that I loved Scotland. I've never been, Sophia. And I have to say, the last time I was in Europe, people was like, oh, you got to go to Scotland next. I think I will. Not next, but you know what I mean? Like soon. Like next time I go to Europe, maybe that will be where I go. Maybe when I go to London, then I'll go to Scotland. Yeah. Miss Parker says, Facebook bloggers are the worst. So inaccurate. I don't even want to refer to the people that are on Facebook as Facebook bloggers, because did you guys also, okay, we're taking a lot of sidebars, but it's relevant, that Judge Jenkins and Kenny Lattimore, they did a whole expose in regards to some bloggers here on YouTube. They're actually based in places like Russia, India, and Pakistan. So they're not who you think they are. If they're a faceless account, you don't know where that information is coming from. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So I wouldn't be surprised on Facebook, who has changed a lot of their rules when it comes to fake news since this new administration. We see you, Mark Zuckerberg. We see you. So I have to say, immediately I noticed a difference once this new administration came into effect, and how Mark Zuckerberg has taken back a lot of that stuff. So anyway, yeah. So let's get to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. So Angie's convo with Heather at the beginning of this episode, it's not lost on me. It's not lost on me on how the editing for Salt Lake City is so amazing, because we're seeing two lives and two wives making their coffee. One is living a fabulous life, and one is living a regular life. Nothing wrong with it. But that's what we're seeing, guys. I don't think you probably noticed that. You just thought, oh, they're just showing that they're both making coffee at the same time, and now they're going to no, they're showing you the different type of machine that Angie's using, and how she's preparing it, and then you're seeing how Heather is preparing it. I like seeing the dichotomy. Okay. Elliot says the drawer of K-cups had me anxious. Now I need to go back and look at it, because I don't even remember what that looks like. OMG. So they FaceTime with each other. And I like this little relationship between Angie and Heather. It reminds me of how their relationship started and then went left. So she refers to Angie as Chirps. So she's like, hey, Chirps. So they're catching up and they're having a conversation. And Angie says, she's preparing to have a combo with Mary because of what happened last week. Oh my God, that feels like a fever dream, last week's episode. Doesn't it? That episode of just one scene and then the back and forth between Angie and Lisa, it feels like a fever dream. So Angie says the difference between how close she was with Lisa and how close she is to Mary, she actually cares about how things are with Mary. They have a real friendship, and I hope, I don't have much hope, at least on Mary's side, that it will stay strong forever. But Mary does love Angie. So Angie says that she wants to have this conversation with Mary because she really actually cares about Mary. And who would have thought? Even Heather's like, yeah, who would have thought? But Mary has really peeled back so many layers. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because her handler, Robert Sr., is no longer in the house and she might feel a little bit more free. Y'all think that's what it is? Because she's peeled back so many layers that I never thought that she would have peeled back. And we see the vulnerability, we see the humor. She said that drawer was crazy. I need to go back and watch it because I completely missed what the K-cup drawer looked like. Doing too much. Shalom said the drawer was crazy. Okay. Judy says, hey, Judy's watching on Twitch. Judy says, where is Robert Sr. at, though? He's in Vegas at one of their homes. He doesn't want to film. But I also feel like the relationship might be not what it is anymore. But they stay married probably for the unity of the church. Maybe. Queen Day says, I'm loving Mary's vulnerability. Me too, because it's such a surprise. I never thought that we would see it. I never thought it. So Angie talked about that. Angie then says she feels upset with how everything went down. But she says she also feels, in regards to her fight with Lisa, but she says she also feels upset on behalf of the rest of the group because she feels like Lisa does this to everyone in the group. But she's taking accountability in regards to how she reacted. And she just said she didn't like how she looked. Heather says that she thinks that Lisa could possibly take accountability, but she is yet to see Lisa do that. But she loves the fact that Angie is taking accountability. And what Lisa missed because she left early, again, I don't understand why Lisa left when she left. yeah, she was having the argument and things like that, but it felt like, okay, why are you leaving? So Heather announced the group trip. They're going on this big super yacht. We already knew this for those that follow the Salt Lake City Tea, that we're going to have this crossover episode. So I'm guessing for the new season, we're going to not Real Housewives of Below Deck. We're going to see, I guess, Below Deck Down Under. We're going to see a crossover with Salt Lake City ladies. I can't wait to watch that particular episode because I think we're going to see a different episode, a different perspective watching them on Below Deck versus them watching them on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So I'm interested to see how that's going to go. So she announces the trip, this group trip that they're going to do. Again, I don't believe this is their big international trip. I think we already know where they went. Where did they go for their big international trip? Because we usually find out while they're filming. But I'm excited for this Below Deck trip because I'm a big fan of Below Deck. I've been out of the loop when it comes to watching Below Deck's current season, Below Deck Med. But I did end up watching the last season. No, I didn't. I did not watch the last season of Below Deck because the original Below Deck has changed a lot with the new captain, the new chief stew. I'm like, But I kind of want to go back and watch it because I do enjoy Below Deck. I don't need them to lean on seeing the crew hooking up with each other though. Oh yes, I forgot. They went to Greece. Obviously, I forgot. Thank you guys. I couldn't remember. They go to Greece. So can you imagine what a season we're already like, I don't care what else happens during the season. This season has already been great. And we're going on a super yacht for our first group trip. And then we're going to Greece. Yeah. Mr. Melon Magic says the captain is fine. Everyone says that about Captain Jason. Captain Jason is, I'm like, I wouldn't kick him out of bed, but he ain't that fine. Come on, y'all. The skin could be taken care of better. Mhm. Okay, is he the best looking though in regards to the captains that we've had on Below Deck? Yeah, I think he is actually. Right? Winter says Below Deck isn't the same anymore. I mean, it's hard to keep a show authentic and great. It's been on for such a long time. So I get it. Exactly. A Fit Cookie. That I didn't watch that one. That's the original Below Deck. A Fit Cookie says the Below Deck that just ended not too long ago was terrible. Frasier was annoying as hell. As all get out. I said as hell. As all get out. And I liked Frasier when he first came on the show and he wasn't a chief stew. I can see that. There's no one beating Kate Chastain. If you have never watched Below Deck, watch the early seasons with Kate Chastain. Oh my God. My favorite. My favorite. My favorite. Okay. Speaking of butter, guys, I have your discount code. First of all, my face today is brought to you by our friends over at Butter. Cleanser, vitamin C oil, and the moisturizer. I did not put on my my mineral sunblock yet. My sunscreen yet. When I go out, I will. However, Tanya says, send him that butter code. Here's the thing. You guys have the butter code. You've been asking for the butter code. Shout out to our friends over at Butter. Kempire10 for 10% off. Head on over to butterskin.com. Use the code Kempire10 for 10% off. I forgot to add it to the description, but our mods will be posting it in the live chat. And if you're watching the replay crew, if you're part of the replay crew, I'll include it in the description. But head on over to butterskin.com for 10% off. Okay? All of that will be available. I love my Butterskin products, so be sure to check that out. Theo says Kate Chastain was funny on The Trader. She's great reality television. She really is. She's great reality television. Okay. Angel says Kempire, top 3 Bravo celebrities who need butter. Captain Jason, Lisa Barlow. I thought Heather Gay too, because even though Heather Gay is she's in the skincare business, but I've been looking at her skin. But okay, but I'll choose someone melanated though. Let me choose someone melanated because that's what Butter specializes in, is in melanated people. But those were the 2 people that immediately came to my mind. Angel says Lisa, not Lisa, and Lisa as my top 3. Let me think about the melanated folks that need it. Look, let me think. Who melanated needs it? I feel like for the most part, everyone got good skin. Not Kelly. Not Kelly. Oh, Mia. Thank you, Fit Cookie. Of course, Mia. 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 Okay. Mia. Yeah. I don't know about Kelly. Oh, Elliot says Greg from Potomac needs butter on his feet. Butter has things for everyone. They've got body washes. They've got body butters as well. Everyone was like, Mia. Mr. Mel says, Kelly to Kelly? I feel like Kelly has good skin. We have digressed. Okay, let's focus, guys. Let's get back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because some of you don't care about any of our sidebars, but you'll be strong, right? Right. All right. So Bronwyn and Todd's ice cream date. So Bronwyn tells Todd that she hates when he eats her, okay, this is going to sound wrong, cherry, but you know, her cherry on top of her sundae. And literally 9 seconds later, he does it. He's not listening to her. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to film. The Todd father does not care about this. But here's where you went wrong. And I said this last night, and I said this previously on my recaps. I feel like Bronwyn, as a Virgo, is plotting and planning. And I don't mean this in a negative way for Virgos. I actually think it's smart. I think she's using the show to get her divorce from Todd. She's not going to do it yet because she's a Virgo. She's plotting and planning and setting herself up. Because this man does not want to film. The Todd father is not interested. Even in these scenes, if you're paying attention to the Todd father, he's just like, she's talking, she's rambling, blah, 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 blah. He's not paying attention. That's why he did not hear her when she says, you know what I hate? When I have my cherry and you eat my cherry. And I'm saving it for last. And then literally 9 seconds later, he takes her cherry and eats it. Sir, if you want a cherry, you could tell them to put a cherry on top of your thing. But he is so controlling. He's so used to being in control of everything. Hence why he dates a younger woman. That's probably I don't have an issue. I don't care who you date as long as you're dating someone legal. Okay? My issue, though, a lot of times with people that date younger is because they date because they want to control the person. They want control over the person. So that's why I'm sort of like, are you just attracted to this person? Or are you dating this person because you want to control them? And you want to be like a father figure? I don't know. So Bronwyn says that Todd would be proud of her because she was very proud of herself that she attended Whitney's event and she didn't get into any arguments with anyone. Todd's just like eating his ice cream, doesn't care. Okay. And she says, you'd be very proud of me because I wasn't in any of the chaos with any of the ladies. And Bronwyn says that she knows that Todd doesn't care about the details. He doesn't. But she's a Virgo, so she's all about the details. Okay. Sidebar. Oh, sorry. I got to talk about it because we're talking about Virgos. Did you guys see Jennifer Lopez on Watch What Happens Live? And she was asked by Andy. Andy, good job. She was asked about the whole rumor that she got rid of all the Virgo dancers. When she's like, anybody a Virgo? She downplayed and she says, if I said it, I was joking. I believe her. I do believe her. Because that's a logistical HR nightmare for her. But I kind of believe her that she may have said it jokingly, and anyone can come out and say something like that, and the person be deemed like, oh my gosh, she's such a diva. Oh my gosh, she can't stand Virgos. But people have said that Jennifer Lopez, Leo self, has always had a problem with Beyonce, and she mimics things after Beyonce does it. That's if you go down the TikTok hamster wheel or the rabbit hole in regards to this, then you see that there are a lot of people that feel like, well, here are the examples of what J-Lo does after Beyonce does it. Okay. Okay, back to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and Bronwyn, the Virgo. So she's like, I know you don't care about the details, Todd, father. But Todd is like, and he's over these group of women. Bronwyn says that Todd knows her better than most people. But so she doesn't understand why he doesn't understand why she's trying to make it work. But we said this before. Bronwyn is trying to make it work. It's because she knows that's part of her job. She has to be able to move on, fight and reconcile. Okay. But in his head, he's just like, I don't understand why you're doing this. So Todd, you know what could have easily made her not do this? Buy her that $4 million necklace. A lot of the reasons why these rich women that you want on the show are not on the show is because their husband says, I will pay you not to be on the show. I will buy you this. I will get, how much are they going to pay? They're going to pay you $150,000 a season. I'll pay you $250,000 a year so that you don't do it. It seemed as if Todd did not make that offer to Bronwyn. And her being a Virgo, I could see her making that sort of deal and putting that money in a separate account. So he did not get her that $4 million necklace, and this is why she's still on the show. He could have easily said, how much are they paying you? I'll pay you that. But he refuses to do it. But he keeps filming with her. It says to me, like, either you don't have it like that, Todd, or you also kind of do like the cameras. You do kind of like the position of people knowing you and kind of loving your old grumpy self. And I say that not in an ageist way. I say it in actually an endearing way.
Lies! The lie!
I do. You know we love the Todd father. I didn't love him this week, though. I did not love him this week. So then she starts talking about, we spoke to a psychic, and the psychic said this about me and my mother's relationship. And he was just like, that could be 50-50. And look, as someone that talks about psychics and collaborated with psychics, and we talk about tarot and we talk about astrology here, I get it. A lot of you don't like, not a lot of you. I take that back. A small sector of you don't love when we talk about things. But that's me. I'm not going to stop talking about things that I enjoy. You don't like it, you just move past it. And some of you do just move past it. You're like, oh, whatever. I don't believe in it. So he's like, it's 50-50 for me in regards to that. So Bronwyn gets emotional because she's just like, I can imagine this is twofold. Bronwyn gets emotional because she's used to him being this way and she doesn't like it. But now she's seeing the world react to him, treat her this way. So she's filming this and she knows the world's going to see this. So now she has that extra layer of people are going to be like, here he goes again. He doesn't appreciate her. He doesn't listen to her. He doesn't even at least humor her in regards to this conversation. So she gets emotional and she's just like, when I hate when people misunderstand me. Virgos. Can you relate? Do you hate when people misunderstand you? I think all of us hate when people misunderstand us. Pageant Mommy says that Todd is just so dismissive. And look, they've been together a very long time. I'm pretty sure this is who Todd has always been. See, Doja says, I actually agree with Todd on the psychic. Well, some people did not like the psychic from last week. I don't feel like a reality show is going to really give you a clear perspective on whether or not the psychic was good or not. Okay, he's here in New York. Maybe I should make an appointment with him. Maybe I should do an interview with him. Maybe. We'll see. I like a good psychic. Patricia says, Todd is just geriatric. What is Todd's sign? We've asked this before, and I always forget. What is Todd's sign? And that would be good to know. Kwame says, Bronwyn already has done 10 years. He's closer to leaving her all that well. She's not leaving. Todd being so crotchety, he's the type of person that will end up outliving all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean all of us. Just saying. Angel says Todd is 66 old man age. He's stuck in his way. He's not changing. And depending on his sign, it makes me wonder even more if he's going to change. Okay, Doja says, okay, hold on. Doja says, I'm heavy into metaphysics, so I love a good psychic too. So you just didn't like this particular psychic. Again, we're watching an edited version of the show, so maybe I need to do an interview with Terrence. I wouldn't mind doing it, especially because he's in New York. Terrence, if you see this, I don't know how to reach you. Reach out and I'm gonna. Maybe we'll do it. I love a good psychic, and we can talk about his experience of being on the show. Maybe. Dorothy said that's an old 66. Dorothy, Todd could probably use our butter code Kempire10 at butterskin.com. Todd. Kempire10, for those that are just joining us, you can get your 10% off too, along with Todd. Hey, Gustavo. Gustavo says, I'm more of a Virgo than a Pisces. And when I tell you I went off because my partner was misunderstanding me, I just couldn't. Oh. Ooh. Look. Ooh. Yeah. Look. All right. Let me move on because I've digressed so much during this recap. But this is what you're here for. You're here for that digression when it comes to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you're just joining us, or if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City definitely does better in the ratings. Shout out to everyone voting on YouTube. 86% of you rated this week's episode between a 7 and 10. That's amazing. That's a really high percentage of you, and that's with over 500 votes. So if you haven't voted and you're watching on YouTube, vote in the live chat poll. If you're watching the replay, be sure to let us know how you would rate. Damn, Foxy. Foxy says butter won't help him. I mean, Foxy, it might help him. Look, let me get my 10%. Okay. Baby says, Kempire, you should reach out to Whitney to get Terrence's info. I'm sure we could find Terrence's info without reaching out to Whitney. You know, I like to stay away from the sun when it comes to these housewives for the most part. Sam, thank you so much for the super. Thank you guys for the super chats. This is gonna pay for my Peacock subscription that's going up. Oh my gosh. Sam says, J-Lo needs to be a housewife. The level of Delulu is Bravo worthy. She would never do it though. She's already decided she's not talking about her relationships anymore. Okay, girl. B Pen, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. B Pen says Todd is pointing things out, his reasons why he doesn't like this, such as their lies about him and Gwen. He did. You're right. And look, I'm not disagreeing with Todd. Anyone that, if you outside of us recapping and enjoying this show, in real life, we relate to what Todd is saying. I don't understand why you're trying to make up with these women. I don't understand why you would try to make up with Lisa after everything that she said and done when it comes to our family. I completely get it. But I also completely get why Bronwyn feels the need to move forward because she's on a reality show. Oh, Kendra says that the Todd father is a Sagittarius. That's why, even though he's old and crotchety, sorry, Todd, but you are, I get a youthful energy from him. Remember I told you that about Sagittarius? There's almost like this little kid energy. I mean this in the best way possible. So that's probably why I kind of, even seeing him watch him eat the ice cream, I'm like, he's like a little boy, even though he looks like an old man. You know what I mean? But that's why he's got that fiery feeling too. Okay, BB says, I actually like a grumpy old man. I say as a single woman who doesn't deal with one. I think we all like an old grumpy man, not our partner, but just to watch. I don't mind an old grumpy old man. Usually though, like if you have like an old grumpy neighbor that you see all the time, but there's like a kinship, you still like them. That's kind of what I get. Oh, Cammie said, I guess this works. I never saw this working. Cammie says, my husband's a Sagittarius and I'm a Virgo. Can you explain to us how it works? Because I'm actually surprised. I know the Virgo helps ground the Sagittarius. And I guess the Sagittarius helps the Virgo kind of live outside of the routine and order. That works my nerve as a Taurus. So that's why I kind of like a Virgo, because I'm like, yeah, I get it. Aaliyah says, my man is grumpy and I love it. Aw, Aaliyah. I don't know if I would love a grumpy man. I got to think about that. I don't know. I don't know if I think I'm the grumpy man. Never mind. I'm the old grumpy man in the relationship. Maybe. I think I'm grumpy, but I don't think people think that I'm grumpy. You guys don't think that I'm grumpy because I'm not usually grumpy on here. Okay, let's move on. So that conversation goes left very quickly. Okay, let's talk about Lisa and John's conversation. Lisa and John's conversation was interesting because I'm on John's side. I'm on John's side because literally in the beginning of the conversation, when Lisa talks about speaking to the psychic and saying that there's a lack of communication, he tries to chime in and she immediately cuts him off. And I'm like, case in point, Lisa, you are the problem. I don't think John is the problem. Who thinks so? Oh, Kara, this is a good question. I want you guys to weigh in. Kara says, who's grumpier, Todd Father or Charles Oakley? Todd Father. because I feel like we've seen a lighter side to Charles Oakley, especially at the reunion. I don't think we've ever seen a lighter side to, I guess when we see him around the Todd father around Gwen, but that's about it. Phoenix says, I'm on John's side too. Because literally we see Lisa prove the psychic's point. There's a lack of communication and you immediately cut off John before he can even say anything. John literally says in this conversation, he feels like he doesn't even argue with Lisa because he already knows in her head she thinks that she's right. If they end up with any issues and they end up in a divorce, I am going to be team John because I feel like Lisa is the problem. Lisa is the problem when it comes to this friend group. And she makes herself the victim. So very much what we're seeing with the friend group happening is the issue that's happening in her relationship with John. I think John is just so used to being passive. But I think even passive people eventually want to be heard and seen and valued. And God forbid, Lisa, there's a woman that slips into John's DMs or runs into John, okay? And he finally feels heard and seen. He's going to leave you because you're not seeing it. You're a narcissist. She's a narcissist. Okay? Patricia says, yes, I felt bad for John. Lexi says Todd is way grumpier. I agree. So she tells him about the psychic reading, a lack of communication. She immediately cuts him off. So here's the thing. I do feel for Lisa in a way because she talks about how she manages the home, but she also manages this business. So she feels like she's taken for granted. A lot of women can relate to that. And I don't doubt that Lisa is in the same boat. Okay. However, she then says that she feels exhausted. And a lot of times she gets into her car and she calls her dad and complains about it to her dad. She doesn't talk about this with John. But I feel like John would listen. I don't get why she thinks that John, unless John is completely different than we see him on television, which is very possible. But I don't know if I believe that. Because Lisa's having the same problems that she's having with the rest of the group. Is that she completely doesn't listen. There's a lack of communication. And she perpetually makes herself to be the victim. Okay? So she says she goes in her car and she calls her dad and she complains to her dad. John says that he doesn't think that Lisa wants to hear what he has to say because she already thinks that she's right. And he's right. He's right. I think if she values John and she values this relationship, she says that John is her best friend. I think if she really believes that, they need to be in therapy. Lisa, separate therapy and couples therapy. If she values this relationship. I would value the relationship because John, like I said to you before, I feel like John is a prize. I don't know John from a can of paint, but based on what we've seen on the show, he seems like he'd be a prize. Good looking man, successful, understanding. Listen, girl, you just saying. Okay. Damn, Regina. Gina says she better take care. Talk to a glass of water. Y'all ain't right. Guys, we have over 900 of you watching on multiple platforms. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. B Pen, thank you so much for the super chat. Another super chat. B Pen says, it was telling when John said how she is the perfect one and not in a good way. He was basically telling, and I hope she watches back the episode and she really does take into account what he had to say because he's telling her. And I think he feels now he has the space and the time and the opportunity to speak his truth. She better listen. Exactly. Patricia, a lot of people are listen to respond. And Patricia says Lisa listens to respond. Patrick Bobby says good looking is subjective. I think people would consider him good looking. Do I personally think he's good looking? I prefer Bobby over there in Potomac. Okay. But even some people probably wouldn't consider Bobby good looking. But you're right. Winter says she hushed John up quickly. Yeah. Kira says, I remember Lisa reaching out to John's biological mother against his wishes. But she's a Sagittarius. So, they're very impulsive. So I'm not surprised that she would do, and she's very controlling. It makes me wonder what her birth chart looks like. Do we know her birth chart? I feel like we saw her birth chart before, but it's hard to really determine someone's birth chart. Let me see, Lisa Barlow, because it would be interesting to know what her rising and moon sign would be. If this is even correct. Let's see. Oh, they said her. Oh my God. No, they have this wrong. This is not even correct because they're saying that she's a Libra. She's not a Libra. Oh no. Oh no, this is wrong. I'm looking at something else. Never mind. They said Sagittarius. Her moon sign Capricorn. That kind of makes sense. Her moon being a Capricorn, and she's so focused on business and money and things like that. That makes sense. They said her ascendant is Cancer. I'm a Cancer rising. That's if we even know if this is correct. It's hard to determine someone, especially if you're a celebrity or a public person, to determine someone's rising if we don't know their birth time. So I don't know if that's correct, but they said that her rising is Cancer. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that, but that's okay. All right, let me move on. All right. So they have that conversation. Let's talk about my favorite conversation. You know what? Acid says, DM her Kempire. She would give you her birth time. She probably would. Right? DJ says Capricorn makes so much sense. Immediately. I believe the Capricorn moon because that you don't need the birth time to figure that out. Tekka says, very emotional. She starts crying too quick. I'm also a Cancer rising. Y'all don't see me crying so quick. Just saying. Okay. But also a Taurus sun. Okay. All right. Oh, John is a Scorpio? John. So John is not as punkish as we think he is. Okay? He lets her be who she is. Oh! Fumi says, Fumilayo, did I pronounce that correctly? Fumilayo says, now wait here, Kempire. We Capricorns ain't claiming no parts of Miss Barlow except the fabulous parts. Well, I just gave you the fabulous parts. She's about her money. So that makes complete sense to me. See, Nisi said it too. I'm a Capricorn and we are all about our money. Literally said this before I even read Nisi's comment. Just saying. Vanessa says, because you don't record it. No, I'm telling you right now, I do not sit here crying to myself at all. I can't tell you last time I cried. When was the last time I cried? It was probably during a show. It's probably during a show. One of these shows, one of these reality shows. I almost nearly cried during Mary and Angie's conversation. Let's talk about that. Mary comes in. She almost gets blown off. Where does Angie live? Angie, I mean, she lives close to Mary. But it's like she lives like it's very spread out. Like, and her home is big and gorgeous. And if you missed it, we talked about wife swap at the top of this recap. I'm gonna do timestamps later. But I was just like, oh, this property. Look, this property. Oh, Doja says Scorpios like dominant women. Oh, look, oh, that makes sense. Because remember, I have two Scorpio parents, and a Scorpio woman can be dominant. Okay, so Mary and Angie. So Mary arrives, and immediately Mary is like, I'm not trying to do the hugs and the kisses, and she's like, oh, you came to the door. You actually, normally I have to let myself in. Immediately, Mary is on 10. So she's like, I brought you your favorite drink. I couldn't find the sugar-free one though. And Mary looks at it and she's like, that's 7 cups of sugar. She's like, I can't have that, and neither should you. And she's like, immediately I'm laughing from the scene. Like, this is my favorite scene of the entire episode. So Mary is like, yeah, and neither should you. Okay, so they sit down to have a conversation. Angie says, in regards to why she's been reacting the way that she's been reacting, she's like, she doesn't like to be bullied. She feels like she's being bullied in this group. Here's the thing. Is Angie the youngest? Because remember, she has like how many siblings? Is she the youngest? Because that will also play a role in why she definitely does not like to be punked or be bullied. I'm the youngest. I can't say that I was ever bullied. I feel like the oldest. But it made sense to me if she's the youngest. Hence why she might be triggered by this group a little bit. So she's like, I don't like to be bullied in this group. But Mary says she gets frustrated with Angie because she can't calm Angie down. And she feels like they're so close. In reality, they're so close. She feels like, as her friend, if I'm telling you to calm down, you should listen to me. Mary is also used to a church, a congregation, looking up to her and listening to her every word. She's used to being the voice of reason. We have to keep that in mind as well. When we think about the psychology of these people and their positions in life, Mary Cosby is the leader of a church. She's also sort of like this pinnacle, like they almost look at her like some sort of saint or martyr, allegedly, I'm gonna say. Okay. And I think the fact that she's not able to calm Angie down is frustrating to her, and the fact that Angie doesn't listen to her frustrates her. Okay. So she says, like, she feels like something's wrong with her. She's like, I'm supposed to be your sister. And she's like, you are my sister. She's like, find another one. Damn. Mary is quick with it. She's like, find another one. Mary says that Angie has been different lately. She said that Angie is usually calm, she's collected, she's sweet. She said Angie's been mean lately. And then she's like, you know what? The other day, a week ago, you were mean to me. You were making fun of my farts. So they flash back to a week before. And apparently, Mary was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm farting. And I don't know if Mary literally passed gas in that scene, and that's why she was saying it, or she was just saying that she was gassy. But I'm defending Mary because do you have a friend, if you mention something to that friend and they're constantly bringing it up, after you feel like you're I can relate to this. And I know Mary was reaching. I know she was reaching, y'all. But I'm reaching for Mary right now. You have a friend that, and this is coming from a Taurus. We don't open up to a lot of people either. She's a Libra. We don't open up. Her ruler is Venus too, right? See, this is why I probably connect with Libras. You ever open up to someone, you mention something to someone, and then they're like constantly bringing it up, and that's what Mary gets frustrated with Angie when she talked about her farts. And she said, you kept on bringing it up. You can't sit next to me because I might be farting. Then she said, the dog passed gas, and then you made it seem like it was me. And she was like, it couldn't be me. I don't eat processed foods. And that couldn't be me. My farts don't smell like that. And she's like, I felt like you were being mean, and I felt like I haven't told you if I smelled your farts. Have I ever said anything if I smelled your farts? I was dying rewatching this scene. Like, this is so, because the scene for me had funny moments and it also had heartfelt moments. And then you've seen these two that actually value each other. It was such a great scene. I just think they just have great chemistry. We never saw this coming. We never saw this coming. And look, I also understand that Angie probably takes a lot when it comes to being friends with Mary Cosby. Like, she just deals with a lot and she just kind of rides along with it. But I appreciate her patience. I appreciate her patience because it would take a patience of a saint to be friends with Mary Cosby. Okay? Hold on. Michaela says that Mary is seriously unserious. But I think she was dead serious. I think she really was upset with the fact that Angie kept on bringing up her farts and then blaming the dog farts on her. I think she was so serious about that. Angie's dog is so cute. Foxy says that, why am I in it? The dog probably thought. And I love how they keep panning down to the poor dog. Chef Lorraine says, my daughter is a Sagittarius and she's the same energy. See? Hey, High Vibe. High Vibe says they are Lucy and Ethel in a different kind of way. I love their scenes. They're so funny. Hence why our very first scene of the season was Mary and Angie. The production loves what we love in regards to their relationship. And their relationship is genuine. We're seeing Mary show up for her wife swap. We're seeing Mary show up for her wife swap watch party. These women, I'm so glad that they were able to get over their issues. And I'm not saying that they're never going to have issues again. I think they will, because Mary is a problem. Oh, Coco, my vibration says Mary's reaction was a trauma response. Is mine a trauma response too? Lakia says the fact that she was serious is what makes it even more funnier. It was so funny. Andrew says, yes, Angie did too much. Mary was I'm annoyed. During the fight between Angie and Lisa. I agree. So Mary then gets vulnerable. The dichotomy of this one scene. So Mary in her confessional says, like, and she even says to Angie, she's like, I don't make a lot of friends. Like, this happens for me like every 20 years where I actually have a friend. And she says, I really open up to you. I tell Angie things that I don't tell anyone else. She says, when I value you as a friend, I put you on a pedestal. You're very important to me. Like, I'm always going to be there for you. I'm always going to help you. I am telling you things that I don't tell anyone else. And I believe that between her and Angie. We found that out during last season. Like, they were having these real deep conversations that weren't seen. And I'm sure probably weren't even on camera. So she says, so it really hurts her. And she gets emotional in her confession. She's like, why am I crying? So and then she tells in the scene, she tells Angie, because Angie's trying to hold her hand and she's getting emotional. And Mary says, I didn't come here to cry. I came here to tell you off. I came here to tell you off. Mary was really trying her hardest to be serious in this moment, but she can't be serious because she really does value and love Angie, and Angie values and loves her. High Vibe says every 20 years she has a friend. Have you met Mary? Yes. Refreshing the Soul says, hey, Kempire, watching live from Kenya. What time is it in Kenya? Shout out to everyone watching in Kenya. Another one of the countries that I would like to visit. Just saying. Okay. Lexi says, being Mary's friend requires a lot. I'm hopeful that we all understand that. So we have to give Angie a lot of grace. Nusi says, replay crew just making it to the live, watching from the beginning here from Chicago. Hey, Nusi. Yes, watch from the beginning because we talk about wife swap in the beginning. And now you're seeing me talk about you. So shout out to those of you that watch the replay as well. Be sure to let us know where you're watching from and how you would rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I still have a lot more to talk about. So that was my favorite scene. So, oh my gosh, I have so much more to talk about. Oh gosh. If you're a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call link now so I don't forget later. But you don't have to call in now. You can if you just want to hang out backstage. You want to be first. That's fine. However, I still have quite a few more scenes to go through before we get to that. So let me do that. Hold on, y'all. Let me do that. And while I'm doing that, don't forget to like the video. Let me just drop the call link for our members. Okay, members. Okay. And don't forget, guys, you can also hear our podcast version of our live recaps and special episodes like Club Kempire and additional episodes. Like when I interview Terrence, we haven't done it yet. When I do, though, it will probably be a podcast episode first. So be sure to check that out. Members, I've dropped the call link for you guys. We'll get to callers in just in a few minutes. Not yet. Let me go through these episodes really quickly, okay? Because I have some more interesting things to talk about. And live chat, I'll drop the call link for you guys once we get to a certain amount of likes. So be sure to keep liking the video. So Heather and Lisa go shopping. And this is where I was like, did something happen between Heather and Lisa? Because Heather is really riding for Angie in this conversation. So Lisa says, before they even get into the conversation, Lisa says, can I bring glam on the yacht? And she's like, no, there's no room for glam on the yacht. Okay. She's like, you can't bring glam on the yacht. Maybe Whitney can do your glam. So Lisa then jokes that this is Angie's first experience on a luxury trip. So she's still taking digs at Angie. Mind you, Angie has talked about Lisa, but has not taken digs at Lisa. She's just talked about how Lisa has made her feel. So keep that in mind. So Heather says that she doesn't see it the way that Lisa sees it when it comes to Angie. Heather says that Lisa thinks that Angie is a mean B word, and then she feels like Lisa is actually one too. Okay. And she says that everything that that Lisa hates about Angie is actually what Lisa does as well. Yeah. Then they get into the topic of the soup man, which we find out is not the soup man, it's actually the suit man. I'm going to need Lisa to pronunciate. Here's the thing, though. When asked about the suit man, and I know a lot of you have been speculating on the suit man, was it the call her daddy's ex-boyfriend situation? We don't know. That's what the streets are saying. However, in this moment, Lisa's just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's nothing. So I don't know if it was really something or it, like very much like what Heather says, she's just throwing things at the wall and hoping that it will stick. Very much like the gout D of it all. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So Lisa said that there was no soup man. It was suit man, but she said there was no soup man or suit man. Okay. And then Heather had to say, makes me laugh. Sidebar. Did you guys see that they announced that they're doing a whole Mormon expose docuseries with Heather Gay? I'm watching it. I know some people were like not watching it, hated it. I'm watching it because I always tell you the reason why I even like Heather on the show still is because she gives us the other side of being like a Stepford Mormon wife. So I'm interested in hearing her speak to former Mormons and their experience. And honestly, I'm not going to say I'm going to do a separate recap. Maybe I will do a podcast recap of it all. Or maybe I'll talk about it here because it's going to be airing after Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Heather, this was a smart move. It's going to help you promote your books. It's also, it's better than you doing like a spinoff that's not going to be successful about your own life. It actually makes sense and it's authentic. I think this was great. It's coming out November 11th. You're welcome. Bravo, run me a check. Bravo, run me the screeners. I'll be honest, though. I could reach out and they probably would give it to me. I just haven't. I'm busy. I'm still trying to gather my taglines. Thank you, Lydia. Just saying, I got things to do. I can't be emailing everybody. I get so many damn emails myself. Never mind emailing Bravo about getting me a screener. But they probably would, though. Maybe I will get the screeners. I want to see it. Yay. I'll send the email today. All right. So they go back and forth, and Lisa starts to feel misunderstood by Heather because she's just like, I don't think she expected Heather to have Angie's back. I don't know what happened, but it felt like Heather made a complete 180. Yes, Elliot, we're about to talk about that because Lisa is just like, I don't understand. She's like, she feels like everyone's been coming for her since the beginning of this show. And she said it all started with Heather. She's like, I'm glad I could give you your book title. Good time, girl. So I'm glad I could give you your book title. And again, I feel like there's context that's missing here. Or maybe Heather really did see the light during this fight between her and Angie. She was just sort of like, Angie basically made peace and you reignited everything by going to pick up your son's products and then being shady. So I don't know. Heather says that Lisa is a risky friend, which reminds me of what's happening on Real Housewives of Orange County. This feels like Emily speaking to Tamra, saying that she doesn't trust Tamra. This is exactly what it reminds me of. Rightfully so, I understand where Emily's coming from, and rightfully so, where I understand where Heather's coming from when it comes to Lisa being a risky friend, because everyone has the same issue with Lisa, and she hasn't forgotten about her issues for a very long time. Remember, for 4 seasons, they weren't friends, even though she desperately wanted to be their friend. And look, Heather, I appreciate you making this 180 this season, because I was just like, oh my God, we're going to have an entire season of Heather up, toi. Look, toi. Just saying. Okay. All right. Okay, before we move on to this next scene, because I have so many thoughts on Brittany and her daughter scene. Her daughter is so poignant and speaks so well for a 19-year-old. And when I say speaks well, I mean like speaks from her heart. Like she's emotionally intelligent, unlike her mother. Gary, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Gary says, I love Mary and Angie's relationship, but Mary needs to watch how she talks to people. I agree. I cringed during that scene. Why do these ladies tolerate it? I don't know. But maybe there's something that they're seeing off camera that we're not seeing on camera. Because I agree with you. Like, could I be friends with Mary Cosby? No, because the minute she talks to me like that, I'd be like, no. Or if I felt like I'm on eggshells in a friendship, I can't. I couldn't. I wouldn't. I don't want it. B Pen, thank you so much for another super chat and for being a member. B Pen says Mary was mad that Angie did that on camera for attention, then kept doubling down, mentioning over and over. Could be that. Guys, we're almost at 400 likes. If you haven't liked the video, be sure to like the video. Just Jules says Britney's daughter was the MVP. Okay, let me just talk about this scene. So Britney's daughter comes in and she asks whether or not she could hug her daughter. So how bad are things that you have to ask your daughter whether or not she can hug you? How bad have things gotten? I knew that things were bad. I didn't think that they were that bad. And I don't know how you guys felt watching this conversation where her daughter was getting emotional and opening up and detailing. Her daughter even had a confessional. I don't know about you. I felt like I was watching another narcissist mom. The only reason why I might give Britney grace was because Olivia says up until the age of 12, her mother was so involved in their lives. She was so about her kids. So I was like, okay, so it's in Britney. But then I'm thinking to myself, or what was she doing that because she thought her first husband appreciated that, or that's what she was supposed to do? So I don't know, because I have to say, watching this conversation, I don't think that Britney got it. I actually looked at this conversation, I'm like, Britney is a bad mom. And you know, I do not judge mothers because it's the hardest job and everyone parents differently. But watching this conversation, I was like, I don't think she gets it. I don't think she gets it. I don't think she wants to get it. And I think her being on the show is going to be her new man, and the new man that's going to interfere with her relationship with her daughters. Mr. Melanin Magic says that Brit is male-centered. But remember, one of the things that I enjoyed about Heather was the fact that Heather said in the religion, she's not surprised because that is, you can't get into heaven, women can't get into heaven without a husband. So then I was like, oh, that makes sense. However, after this conversation between Britney and Olivia, I was like, I don't know about this. So she's retelling an incident when she got steamers for her daughter when she was a kid because her daughter wanted coffee, but she was like, you know, you're too young to have coffee and things like that. So she's like, I got you a steamer. So she's got to recall back to when she was 4 years old. She can't recall to any like current situation. And her daughter could not even remember that. She's like, that happened when I was 4. And apparently you guys have not been around each other for her to constantly bring that up. Because I'm sure in life, with your interactions with family members, you would bring something like that up when you're like 15 and 20 and you know what I mean? But apparently she has not had a relationship with her daughter in a while, that she's bringing up something that happened when she was 4 years old. So she says, Olivia brings up the fact that like, oh, we're going to have a similar conversation like that we tried to have not too long ago. So apparently they were supposed to have a conversation. She had a 30-minute break between jobs. I can appreciate Olivia. Olivia says between jobs, she had a 30-minute break. Olivia got 2 jobs. She might have more, but she said between jobs, she went to her mother's house on her 30-minute break, and Jared must have arrived at the same time. And instead of them having the conversation, her mother, Brittany, was making out with Jared. Excuse me? First of all, why would you be making out with someone that's not your child's father or even your husband? Making out in front of your child, and your child is trying to come there to have a conversation. And I feel like the only reason why Brittany's even having this conversation now is because of the show. And it gives her a moment on the show. It gives her a storyline on the show. So that's why I said I feel like now the show is going to be her new man, the new interference in regards to her relationship with Olivia. Brittany, you need real like therapy. Because even in this conversation, I didn't feel like you got it. And I think, again, you were only willing to have the conversation because it gave you a moment to have your own scene and relevance and importance on the show. I still like her for the show, but she's a terrible mom. Sorry, Brittany. I hate to say that. But based off of what Olivia is telling us, you're not a good mom. So Olivia says that, her mom was a good mom and very involved up until 12. And when she got remarried, her second divorce, and then she completely prioritized the man over her. So Olivia claims that Brittany used to be very involved, but she completely changed after the divorce. She says her worst fear is that that Brittany is going to prioritize a man again over her. So that's part of the reason why they've had a strained relationship, because she's like, I feel like you're going to do it again. So now I kind of get where Whitney's coming from, because Whitney was right. And again, we're watching an edited show. Whitney probably had more context. She's thinking your daughter is basically saying to you, show me that you prioritize me. It's not about Jared. It's not even about the man. It's about you really feeling like a mom. And she says, I try to put myself in your place. Olivia says, I try to put myself in your place, but I can never do that to my child. Her daughter is so emotionally mature, and the father must have did a hell of a job, because or maybe not, or maybe this is just who she is. But the way she spoke to her mother about her emotions in such a healthy, intelligent way, which it feels like Brittany's not even able to do that herself, because she kept on saying, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, who is the child here? Who is the child here? So I feel for Olivia. I don't think, honestly, that that Brittany's going to change. I feel like all of this is going to go. When I say all of this, I'm talking about the show. I saw that she has a live show here in New York City as well. I feel like the success of the show and her being on the show is only going to hurt a relationship with her kid. And if her kid says, I need you to quit the show, she's not going to quit the show. Damn. Hey, Mills. Mills says, my mom passed away when I was 12. Sorry. And even though it's not the same situation, I could relate with Olivia talking about the moments it would have been nice to have my mom to talk to. It's heartbreaking. No, I completely get what you're saying, Mills. I'm so sorry that you lost it. I can't even imagine. 12 years old, you don't have your mom? It makes me also wonder what Olivia's relationship is with her dad. It makes me what kind of dad he is. But based off of Olivia, it seems like he's a good dad, because she's so emotionally mature. But that, again, could just be her. But I'm going to give credit to the dad. He did a good job. Kendra, you guys are going to help me pay for my my Peacock Premium this month. Thank you. Kendra says, Brittany can remember her daughter mad over Starbucks, but not making out with Jared in front of her. Thank you for pointing that out, Kendra, because in that moment, she's like, I don't remember that. You don't remember that? Come on, girl. That was just the other day. I don't remember that. Oh, my goodness. Duchess, thank you so much for the super chat. Duchess says, everyone on the cast keeps telling Brittany to stop wasting time with Jared and focus on her daughters. It's one thing that they all agree on. But Brittany just doesn't get it. She doesn't want to get it. I think that's what it is. She doesn't want to get it, because she, even in that moment in the conversation with Olivia, tried to justify it. She's like, well, you guys aren't around. And remember, she said this to Whitney too. Basically, her kids aren't around, so she doesn't want to be alone. And Olivia's just like, you're not going to make us feel bad for not being around because of what you've decided. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. All right, let's move on to the next scene. If you're a member of the channel, I did drop the call-in link for members. I will be taking callers in just a couple of minutes. If you are part of the live chat, once we get to 400 likes, I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. All right, shout out to our King's Guard, shout out to our channel members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. Also, we have new merch. I'm not wearing the merch today, but I've been wearing the merch if you follow me on socials. Are You Okay merch? And our Kempire After Dark merch is now available at houseofkempire.com. So head on over to the description for more details. Go get your merch today. All right. Let me finish my shake. Yamola says, please like, y'all, if you haven't liked the video already. Okay? All right, let's talk about this Heather and Meredith conversation. So Heather, I'm liking Heather this episode. Okay, can we just talk about Meredith talking about how she chipped her tooth and then bumped her toe? Look, I know some people are accident prone, but it lands a little bit differently with rumors and nastiness sledding Meredith. Okay, lands a bit differently for me.
Time ring.
It lands a little differently for me because I'm like, is that the reason why you know, are you just accident prone or was it something else? Was something else? Sidebar. Did you guys see on X? Shout out to what is it, Sutton Stroller on X who came up with a map because they've been doing like the different maps of the Housewives. Do they actually live in the city that they're representing? So a good portion of the people live in Salt Lake City. However, Meredith doesn't. She lives in Park City, which we know, which is like a 40-something minute drive. Brittany lives in a whole other part. It's like she's in South Utah because she's far. She's far from, but technically she's also like 40-something minutes away too. So she's just the equivalent as Meredith. I don't care. They're all coming to Salt Lake to film, whatever. Okay. Okay. And Lisa Barlow doesn't live in Salt Lake City, but she's like, she probably lives in a very pristine area. Okay. But here's the thing. Is the rent just better in Park City, Meredith? Why don't you live in Salt Lake? You rent. You could easily pick a place in Salt Lake City, but maybe the rent's high in Salt Lake City. Does anyone know? Maybe the Salt Lake City rent is higher than Park City. Can someone tell me? If you're part of the replay crew, let us know. Maybe the rent is better over there, especially for the type of house that she wants to film in. And I'm sure we're going to see a new rental property this season. We haven't filmed at her home yet, have we? Or we've seen her home this season. Okay. Duchess D says, I was wondering where Meredith was this episode. She was getting into accidents. All right. So they discuss everything that's been going on with Lisa. And Heather says she wants to know why Meredith let Lisa off so easily. Heather says the only reason Lisa apologized profusely to Meredith because of this.
Go. Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
Elliot says, I hear there's been a real estate boom in Salt Lake City. Adrian, that's what I thought too. Adrian says Park City is very expensive. That's why I'm sort of like, if you're going to pay that amount of rent, why not do that in Salt Lake City? Okay. Lexi says, no, Kemp, actually Park City is the most expensive city in Utah. That's what I thought too. So I don't understand why she lives so far out in Park City. And she's generally not there. She's generally not there. She's generally here in New York, screwing all the men, allegedly. Sorry. All right. Okay. Just Drew says, no, Park City is way more expensive than Salt Lake City. So again, it doesn't, why didn't she just have a beautiful home in Salt Lake City? Okay. Oh, wait. Phoenix says Meredith did a tour of her new house. It's on Bravo's YouTube channel. Thank you, Phoenix. I'm looking forward to seeing the new rental property this season. Romele says, or Romel says, I will never forget that moment. Meredith is better than me. I could never be friends with Lisa anymore. Yeah, me either. Oh, Amit, thank you for the clarification. Her store, that's never open, is in Park City. I guess it makes more sense. When is the store open? Just saying. Is it open now? She's always in New York. When is the store open? Just saying. It's only a 40-minute drive. Just saying. And she's always filming. That's the only reason why she's even in Salt Lake City. Lou says half Kempire, only half of New York. Oh, wait a second. Pageant Mommy says most New Yorkers prefer Park City. Why is that? Okay. Kendra says she moved again. Lady, don't you get tired of packing boxes? Who's saying she's even packing boxes? She probably hires a mover. All right. All right. Let me move. So Heather and Meredith go back and forth in regards to Lisa. And if you saw Meredith on Watch What Happens Live, she found like every excuse in the book to defend Lisa, despite what I just played for you. I don't know how she's done it, but I appreciate it because I don't want to see them constantly going back and forth. But now it feels like Meredith, blink twice if you're okay. So Meredith says that she doesn't have the greatest track record with Angie. Okay, I understand that, but Heather's just like, I believe Angie. I believe that Lisa definitely said it because Lisa has a pattern. So Meredith is surprised that Heather believes Angie because she's like, so are we supposed to believe that what Angie said about you and Jen and the Barbie scissor kicks? Meredith, are we supposed to believe the rumors about you and Jen Shaw as well? Apparently that happened at that place in Salt Lake City. Y'all don't remember those rumors? I mean, no one brought it up on the show. At least I don't remember them bringing it up on the show. But I remember talking about it, about Jen and Meredith getting down with the get down. So careful bringing that up because there are rumors about you and Jen as well. First of all, for that to be that many rumors, that says to me Jen be getting down, huh? MH says the store is open at 12 noon according to Google. You do know you can't go by Google because Google probably still says Old Lady Gang is still open. Just say I want someone that's on the ground in Park City to report back. Is the store open? And when is it open? And is it open consistently? Okay. Hey, Tashara. Tashara says, hey, just subscribed. Hey, Tashara. Welcome to the community. Amit says the suit man is real, though. Well, she said that it's not. According to Lisa on the show, she said it's not. I'm sure she's gathering all her details for the reunion, though. Jess says, do tell, Kempire. What do you mean? About what? What did I say? All right. So they have their little back and forth. And you may have seen online that there's a beef brewing between Heather and Meredith. And it's over Lisa? I don't know. Who knows? Heather says that she believes Lisa is doing that and digging stuff up on friends. So Meredith says if a friend is digging stuff up on another friend, that's not a friend. And Heather says no, she believes that Lisa is doing that. And she did that to Meredith. I think we all believe that too, right? But we would understand it because of what went down. She literally dug up stuff and said it on camera. And according to Heather, the only reason why she believes that Lisa was so apologetic was because she was caught. Care Bear says leave Barbie out of it. I've never even heard of Barbie scissor kicks ever before. We've heard of scissoring. You're gonna be scissoring. So Angie Mary go over Whitney's home, and they're plotting and planning their trip, and they have to figure out the preference sheet. As below deck watchers, we know what that is, okay? But Mary has not filled hers out. Everyone else has filled theirs out. They flash back to scenes with Meredith and Lisa filling theirs out, Heather and Whitney filling theirs out. But Mary, being the bougiest of them all and the most particular of them all, still hasn't filled it out. And they know that she's very bougie and very particular. So Angie grabs the preference sheet and she's like, okay, let's figure this out. So she's like, I want 2003 Dom Perignon. I want blueberries. I want yogurt parfait. And then she says it again, right? She said it twice. 2003 Dom Perignon. I'm actually surprised that Mary drinks. Isn't she Pentecostal? Do they drink? I'm actually surprised. But she drinks, but she doesn't get messy drunk. Just saying. Or buzzed, at least from what we could tell. So she goes through the things she wants. Then Angie brings up the rumors about Bronwyn. And mind you, I never really covered the rumors. We briefly talked about them, but I never really dug into the rumors about Bronwyn. And apparently the rumors about Bronwyn and her criminal past. About grand theft, about identity theft. Okay. So did you guys note, first of all, Whitney's hair? I think she was in that weird stage where she was letting the hair grow out. It was hard for me not to pay attention to that. Okay. So Whitney, when talking about the rumors with Bronwyn, why was she smiling like that? It's like she was excited about it. And I'm just sort of like, why is she smiling like this? Like, this is not cute. And she's just like, I can't believe, I try to stay out of the criminal circle here in Salt Lake City, but I just seem to keep finding myself in it, including yourself and your husband. Don't try and distance yourself from it. Y'all a little shaky too, allegedly. A little shaky. Okay. But okay. So then we go to the scene with Bronwyn and the Todd father. So Bronwyn comes in and she says that there are two things that are going on. Some mistakes that she made from like 20 years ago, and some things that they're claiming happened recently, but she's saying that those were from 10 years ago. So the 20 years ago when she was in college, she had an eviction notice. Okay. But the current crimes, the grand theft, she says she makes it seem like they all fall under this penal code. So it's not exactly identity theft or grand theft. Okay. All right. So she says that the case was dismissed and later sealed, but she keeps claiming that she can't talk about the case because it's sealed. But I don't know if that's true. Again, I don't know the details of who's involved, because if there are other people involved, that could be reasons why she couldn't talk about it. But if it's just you involved and they're your criminal charges, you could talk about them, right? But she claims that they were sealed. Here's what I think, because she's meeting with the Todd father. I believe the Todd father had them sealed because she told him about it when they got together, probably before they got married or while they were married, because she claims that they're from 10 years ago. I believe that the Todd father probably, gave a little money and had them sealed because he doesn't want this to come out. Okay. I don't know when they were sealed. Do we know when they were sealed? Because if they were sealed like 10 years ago, then he definitely did it. Or did he seal them recently? Because remember when I was on the Humble Brag podcast, for those that may have missed it, Crystal talked about how she reached out to her financial advisor and was just like, is everything paid? How are the finances? Like, she got ahead of herself because she did not want to be involved in any scandals while being on the show. Smart. A lot of people could, and here's the thing, Bronwyn then makes it seem as if that possibly Lisa could be behind these rumors. I'm not saying that she isn't, but people forget how the Bravo universe is. The minute there's a new housewife, the Bravo universe is all over it and digging things up. So it wouldn't shock me that it was just a Bravo fan that Googled all of this and found out this information. Because that's where I found it, was from the Bravo blogs first. And now she wants to have an issue with Lisa, saying that maybe Lisa's behind it or perpetuating it. All these women are going to perpetuate it. Angie, Mary, and Whitney talking about it is perpetuating this rumor. The production is perpetuating this rumor. The network is going to perpetuate this rumor. And I think she's not going to go in depth into it, and she's just going to say it's under seal and I can't talk about it. And then everyone's going to be like, well, if you're involved, you can talk about it. Yes, the courts can't talk about it, but you're involved. The only reason why I believe that she wouldn't be able to talk about it if it involved other people, that's, again, lawyers, please feel free to chime in. That's the only reason why I believe that she wouldn't be able to talk about it if other people were necessarily involved in her grand theft, allegedly. Ramel says, and I think this is why I never reported on it, because I honestly didn't care either. I was like, you guys are talking about something from 10 years ago. Sidebar, they were talking about, who was it? Kiarna. Apparently, Kiarna has charges from like 20 years ago. So the Bravo blogs have dug that up, and now that's circulating the internet right now as well. And I'm like, that's from 20 years ago. People have a past. I don't have that kind of past. But people have a past. If they've been able to dig themselves out of that past and do something with their lives, great. Fantastic. Ramel says, I honestly don't care what Bronwyn did or didn't do. I'm still thinking about Dr. Wendy's situation. Phoenix says, Esquires, assemble. Exactly. Please do. All right. So that's how the scene ends. And Todd says, I don't think you should go to this trip. And she's like, I get it. You don't want me to go to this trip. She also gets how this is embarrassing for him. Like, people look to him in his business. They don't need this type of information out there like that about his wife. They look to him as someone of virtue, I guess, or someone of credibility. And this takes away his credibility. I understand that. Hence why I think he had it sealed. I don't know that for a fact, but I think that he probably did. He probably did it before he got married to her. All right. So he knows exactly what that's involved. Okay. But Todd doesn't think that she should go on this trip. Okay. Bronwyn says, based on Felisa's passage, she wouldn't be surprised that she's the one spreading these rumors or perpetuating the rumors. Todd says that if Bronwyn decides to go on this trip, then he doesn't want to hear about it. Honestly, I would be like the Todd father. He barely wants to hear about anything else that she wants to talk about when it comes to these women. I'm not surprised. Todd says he doesn't see it for Lisa. He's never seen it for Lisa. He says if he would not spit on Lisa if her brain was on fire. That's not the same, but I was like, damn, that's harsh. He said he would not spit on Lisa if her brain was on fire. Damn. So I guess he's saying the depth of how much he does not care about Lisa. Because, if your shoe is on fire, he might spit on that. But if her brain was on fire, he would not spit. Like, if that meant it would save her life, he would not spit on her. He does not like Lisa at all. And again, I can't blame him. All right. So that's how the episode ended. Next week, we go on a trip, our first trip, and we're going to be on a super yacht. This makes up for all the lackluster trips that Salt Lake City had in the beginning. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. This was a good episode. If you're just joining us, we did talk about Angie's episode of Wife Swap. Maybe next week I will talk about Melissa's episode at the beginning of this, because I'm not going to do a separate recap for Wife Swap. All right. Danny says that Todd can kick rocks. Taurus Moon says, I'm with Daddy Grumpy on this one. She should not go. But again, her plot and plan is to legitimize herself on the show so she can eventually leave him at some particular point. Or maybe not even leave him. Maybe her plan is so that she has her own money. And maybe she doesn't have her own money. We have to remember, she used to work for herself. She used to work in finance as well. She is a Virgo. She's plotting and planning. I don't think that's a bad thing. I always tell you women and men to have your own money, to have your own FU fund. She's probably trying to build up her FU fund, and she probably has a certain amount, because she's a Virgo. She has a certain amount that she needs in order to leave him. Just saying. All right. Keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors. I am giving you guys, let me see how many people are backstage. Okay. I'll give you guys, our members, a minute, but the Johnny Come Lately general audience, you'll get 30 seconds. Okay. Angel's backstage and has been waiting patiently backstage. If you're a member, I did drop the call link on the community tab as well. Angel, what did you want to share in regards to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, or even Wife Swap?
Kempire, I am not going to waste my minute on Wife Swap. It was great, but I want to talk about the episode so that I can go in on Brittany. But I'm going to start off a little tongue in cheek. Bronwyn still does not expunged. We don't care that much. Don't downplay it. Just add your mugshot to the Housewives yearbook, and we are over it. And then for you, Kempire, what are your qualifications for some interns? Because we need to help you out with the Kempire LLC to get some people to help you with emails. I did go ahead and email Mr. Terrence for you, though. Oh. And I sent you his email information.
Thank you, Angel.
And then Miss Brittany, she just needs to be ashamed of herself. That scene with her daughter was so cringy to me as a mother with 3 kids. There is no man who can ever come into your life, whether it's your kid's father, your next husband, your 8 husbands after that, that will make you put down your motherly instinct. I do not know what her issue is, but she needs serious help. She needs to sit down. Her daughter has way more emotional intelligence than her. Dad did a great job. Brittany, bye-bye. Because I don't even think she deserves the camera time to try to fix or not fix just for TV, because it's beyond that. And then also, Lisa's giving me Marisol Ashley vibes, and she needs to take a pause because she's not good for TV this season. She's doing too much. So that's it.
Oh, thanks, Angel.
I know I went over. Sorry, Camp.
That's okay. Thanks, Angel. Angel did the brunt work for me when it comes to, she did some Kempire LLC work. We appreciate her. All right, Nicole's backstage. We're going to bring Nicole up next. Nicole, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Great recap. I love how you do the recaps all the time. Even if I miss it and I come back a few days, it's just perfect. But I just want to say with Heather, I'm starting to like her this season. I used to like her other seasons, but then I think because she was so much in Jen Shaw's shadow, and now that she, the kids are out the home and she's to her, to herself. I think she's found herself as a woman. And because I looked at like all the friendships she's had, like with Jen Shaw and even with Lisa, those are emotionally abusive type friendships.
Mm.
It's like that's why she seems so much like a pick me.
Yeah.
And so I think she's found herself. So that's why last week when you were talking about the episode and you were like, she needs to be with a Muslim man. I'll tell you, I told you I grew up in West Africa. I grew up around Islamic culture, even though I grew up Southern Baptist Christian. She needs a man, when I say Muslim, like not so doctrinated. Because as you
Mm.
can see, that's what you're seeing Heather struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that was part of the demise of her marriage to her husband. And
Mm.
so I think that she needs to be with somebody that's more freer, lighter, not as doctrinated, but deep in their faith and their spirituality. So
Agreed.
and then she needs a man of color, because she has that swagger. If she gets a white man, he has to have some swag to her
Mm.
because she likes to have a good time. So I'm
Mm.
liking her this season. She's finally finding herself, and I think that's why she's seeing through Lisa more now.
Mm.
And
Thanks.
that's why her and Angie has built that beautiful friendship.
All right. Thanks, Nicole. All right. Yeah, I think like a Chet Hanks swagger. Not Chet Hanks, I'm playing. All right. Let me bring up April Aries next. April Aries, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Good afternoon, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. I did enjoy this episode and I did enjoy Wife Swap. It was really cute and funny, and it was nice to see different views outside of, the housewives. And Brittany really does need help because like serious intense therapy to be that disconnected from your children
Mm.
and still putting them putting a show and a man above them is absolute no. I love Mary and Angie's relationship, but Mary needs to tone it down a little bit because she's very intense. And Angie is going to get caught up again, like she did with Lisa, by spreading that tea about Bronwyn, because that's exactly how her and Lisa got into it because she was following behind Bronwyn. So, Angie, I need you to tighten up. And yep, that was it. I really enjoyed the episode. Have a good day, Kempire.
Thanks, April. All right. Let's bring up DJ Bailey. Hold on. DJ Bailey, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
I hope you're having a blessed day.
Thank
I'm
you.
here at work clicking the buttons, but I kind of wanted to chime in on the Britney situation of it all.
Mm.
I think we as viewers really need to look really on the outside as far as when it comes to Britney, the system of patriarchy in which she comes from. The
Mm.
Mormon culture, it's all male centered at the end of the day. And although my heart really, really breaks for her daughter,
Yeah.
she has been classically conditioned, Brittany. She has
Mm.
been. And at the end of the day, she can't be a mother because she doesn't know who she is
Mm.
because of that culture that she comes from.
Yeah.
And that's all I really wanted to say about that. And I hope you have a great day, Kempire.
DJ, question though. Her daughter did say that up until 12, her mother was very involved in her life though. And then all of a sudden it
Yes,
switched.
but you see, at the time she was married. So you still have that patriarchal system
Mm.
going on. She was a traditional Mormon wife.
So you think she just did it
So,
because tradition?
yes,
Mm.
definitely.
Okay. All right, DJ. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, San is backstage. San, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire. First of all, thank you for tweeting about Wife Swap because I then kind of stopped watching the episode to watch Wife Swap.
Oh,
It was so good.
I
And
thought it.
Angie is definitely lovable. Like I could see her heart even before the episode.
Yep.
It was nice to see a different angle though.
Mhm.
And Mary, once she got on the screen, I was like, okay, my night was made.
Right?
But I had a question. Are
Mhm.
there any other shows that you're watching that you don't necessarily like give us, the lives on?
I talked about it during my latest episode of Club Kempire. I know it's paid podcast subscription, but I did talk a little bit about some of the shows that I'm currently watching.
Okay, keep it there. Cool.
No. I'll tell you guys, but I talk more about them during the episode that I did. Reasonable Doubt on Hulu. I'm watching The Gilded Age. I'm on season 3 already. What else am I watching? Oh, of course, Abbott Elementary. All those.
Yeah. Okay, Gilded Age. I'll add that to the list. Thank you.
Thank you, San. Take care. All right, Anthony's backstage. We're gonna bring Anthony up next. Anthony, oh wait, there you go. Anthony, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. I'm
Hey.
calling from Los Angeles, California. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm gonna give this episode a 7 out of 10. I thought it was solid. One note will be well, two. Bronwyn and Brittany. As a fellow Virgo myself, I do understand why she's doing. I mean, allegedly, what I'm thinking is having some type of a backup plan in
Mm,
terms of like Todd taking care of her family, her mom and her dad, and she can't really do that on her own. Now that she has the show, maybe stay for a few more seasons, gather enough funds, and then probably, leave him, which I can understand that because Todd is a eh. Lastly, Brittany. Honestly, I didn't think there would be this serious in terms of her issue with her
right?
daughters because it's always been light talk or like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, we always seen her talk, but we never seen a daughter talk. And the fact that this one daughter had a confessional, she was really good with her words and really straightforward with Brittany. It's like, is that even her own daughter? Like, whoever is the dad, like, kudos to him and also to herself. Cause, like, at 19, I couldn't even talk like that to my own
Right?
mom or dad. So, for her to say all this on camera in front of Brittany in this production is like 10 cents. I love that scene, but Brittany, you got work to do, but I still love her. Thank you so much. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
Anthony. Take care. All right. We're gonna bring Lexi up next. Lexi, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. Man, so many things. This is why Salt Lake City is tops of all of the shows right now because of all the weird characters.
Yep.
She needs therapy. And one thing I will say about that is my mother did not necessarily have a good mother role model, but she told me
Mm.
when you were born, I went to therapy before therapy was popular amongst
Wow.
African American mothers. She's like, I went to therapy because I wanted to be a better mother to you than what I had. So the
Ooh.
fact that Brittany hasn't taken care of this, that's a failure on her part. Just end of story. And I even went to therapy before I had my son to make sure that I was passing along the proper traits and I could be a good
Mm.
mother. And I currently still am in therapy, just making sure things are right. Because that's going to be your most important job you will ever have is being a solid parent. So
I
you
love
have to
that.
do that.
I love
That's
that.
the first thing. And then also Mary, I love Mary. And this is why Mary and Angie really are truly sisters. And I hope that they stay that way because Mary told her, look, you're bothering me. This hurt my feelings. And Angie was so introspective about it. She's like, you
Yeah.
know what? You're right. I apologize. And they
Yeah.
were able to get over it. That is what sisters, true sisters, do. So
Mm.
this was just a
Mm.
great episode. I'm sorry, one more thing. Todd's father is my friend. I love Todd. Todd told her, hey, you can go on this trip. I don't think you should, but whatever happens, it's on you.
Lexi, what's your mom's sign and what's your sign?
I am a Gemini with the Cancer rising, and my mother is a Cancer. So,
Mm. Well, tell
what-
your mother kudos to her. If you haven't said it before, I'm sure you probably have. But kudos to her
yeah,
for being that introspective. And you're right. Back then, I still feel like black people, but also people of color still struggle with the thoughts of going to therapy. So I love the fact that both of you made that decision. I'm sure because she made that decision is why you made that decision in order to be a better parent. So I think that's amazing. So kudos to both of you.
exactly. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too, Lexi. All right, let's bring up Claire. Will be our final caller for our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. We're also talking about wife swaps, a latest episode that came out yesterday as well. Claire, what did you want to share about this recap?
Oh my gosh, Kemp, I finally made it on to the call list.
Hey,
Yay, been watching you from the bushes forever. Happy to be here.
thank you.
Yes, I thought this episode was great on how they wrapped everybody up from what Terrence said and like following
Mm-hmm.
up. And I'm sure other people mentioned, but just kind of bringing back to Lisa and chatting with her husband, John.
Ooh.
I thought that was an interesting conversation. He was almost like placating her on being perfect, I felt like. And it just seemed pretty checked out as well. Like, yeah, like nothing new. So I do kind of feel like for Lisa, there's something emotional going on with there.
Mm.
And then, of course, love the scene with Angie and Mary. Brought me to tears. They truly have a sister relationship. I'm really close with my sister, and those are the kinds of conversations like you have.
Mm.
And for even Mary to just be vulnerable and be like, hey, I walk away. So yeah, like that is just powerful. And you can tell Angie, besides all the beautiful Botox she has, like was really feeling bad about it. Like I messed up. And they keep moving forward. I love that. I love that.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
Thanks, Claire. Shout out to everyone that watches from the bushes. We don't see you, but we appreciate you. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget, you can also hear our live recaps and special episodes like I just mentioned before in regards, if you want to know other things that I'm talking about and tea that I'm spilling, join our Club Kempire Apple Pay podcast. That is, you can find it on Apple's app, or you can find it on their website if you don't have an Apple product. There's a free 3-day trial. You can also hear live from Philly, my live show, The Kempire After Dark. You can hear that there. I am also going to drop a good, juicy episode, special bonus episode this week for our Club Kempire podcast members as well. Just correction in the chat, Foxy. Nightbot is not the one who chooses the memberships. That is actually YouTube. YouTube chooses. Thank you so much, Amit, for 10. Thank you. 10 gifted memberships. If you got a gifted membership, please thank Amit in the chat. Thank you, Amit, for the 10 gifted memberships. Y'all just paid for my premium of a Peacock this month. Thank you. I appreciate it. Kendra, thank you so much for another super chat. Kendra says, just donated to the breast cancer fundraiser. Please never delete that rant. I won't. But yeah, reminder, guys, in regards to the Lisa rant she's talking about. Reminder, thank you, Kendra, for reminding people. You'll see after, if you're watching the replay, you'll see the donation button somewhere along the side of the video. But if you check out any of my last few videos, help us get to $3,000. We only have, 8 days left to the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month as well. It's also Black History Month in the UK. So shout out to all of you. And shout out to all the survivors of breast cancer and a DV as well. Please help us help Black Women's Health Imperative. This is an organization that we've raised money for multiple times before, multiple years before. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. So this is the one thing that I can say in regards to YouTube and spending your money here on YouTube is YouTube giving. So 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Remember, we raised and broke records for our Pride Month fundraiser. They sent us a letter thanking us last year. They could have sent one. I just haven't been to the post office. They could have sent us another one in regards to us raising over $5,000 for Pride Month in June. So I'm going to guilt all of you. All of you could give $1. If every single person in here gave $1, even though some of you already donated, but if every single person, we have nearly 1,000 people watching on multiple platforms. No, over 1,000 people. Shout out to those of you who are watching on X. Head on over to my YouTube channel and donate on one of those videos. If all of you gave $1, $5, we would reach our goal like that. At least for now, it's Wednesday. By Friday, can we at least be halfway to the goal, which would be $1,500? At least help us do that. And what you can do, if you can't donate, you can share our videos and say, I know you have it, donate. Donate. All right. So Kendra, thank you so much for donating. And yes, I will never delete the rant. Okay. Kendra says, Todd Father definitely told the world that he can't stand Lisa. Girl, don't catch on fire. Kendra, thank you so much for another super chat. Let me shimmy for it because you sent quite a few super chats. And let me shimmy again because Ann sent a $20 super chat. Thank you, Ann. Ann says, hiya, quickly. Prada bracelet is a fail. It looks like a buckle belt around your wrist. We saw it. It is a fail. It only is useful for quick payments, i.e. the tube, as it is capped at 100 euros. Wait, not euros, that's pounds, right? I don't remember. Yeah, because you guys use pounds in the UK. Multi-cards makes sense to separate biz personal. We did, so she explained why she was throwing so many black cards. So she says, we use 3 EU, US, and UK. Must be nice. Must be nice, Ann. Ann's living that life. And when I come to the UK, tea is on you. Anyways, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you to everyone that's already donated to our fundraiser. We appreciate you guys. We will continue to push and guilt trip you guys to donate. All right? All right. Ms. Parker reminds us that Scorpio season starts tomorrow. I'm always going to root for our Scorpios because they're our sister signs to the Tauruses. And you know I'm the product of 2 Scorpios. Then there's that. All right. I did see the Married to Medicine update, but we try to keep everything separate. So maybe I will go live or do a separate video talking about the trailer for Married to Medicine. So stay tuned for that. And if you are not subscribed, subscribe today. Turn on your notifications. I will see you all later. Paulette, thank you so much for Paulette. You always support too. Thank you, Paulette. Paulette said, I donated. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Gotta go, guys. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all. And thank you all for the super chats. We're almost at 500 likes. Can we get to 500 likes? Maybe? Maybe? No? Oh, fine. Bye.
Here we go now.